If I may continue on that chart, Jay,
Yeah.
I want to talk about, as I said, I have 3 children, and I want to talk about them for many reasons. One is to show people what really matters in life. It's not just simply about leaving the better world for our children. It's also about leaving the better children for the world to continue to go where not only you get to push the humanity forward, you actually have trained them and made them curious enough for them to be able to continue to push the humanity forward, right? So I have 3 children. Our oldest is 32. He went to Wharton. When he was 17, he started his first company. And that was simply about helping young entrepreneurs as a nonprofit to help young entrepreneurs find mentors for them so they can be successful. And his reasoning was, my dad brought me mentors, and these kids did not have that opportunity, so I'm going to create it for them. Now imagine what happened. He could call anyone in the world and say, I want you to help these young kids. Nobody says no to helping someone. In the turn, he built one of the biggest network he could find of the most influential people. So when he started a for-profit company, everyone wanted to be part of this, right? In fact, just today, my oldest was on CNBC and Bloomberg, announcing that he's solving this problem that all the kids of age were suffering from. There are 2 problems. I graduate, I can get a job, and generally a decent enough job where I can actually find an apartment, but I don't have the money to pay first month rent, last month rent, and security deposit. And he said, you know what? What if we don't have that and simply spend $5 a month on insurance and insure the landlord so you don't have to have a deposit? And he started that company.
Wow.
Then he realized that everyone was complaining and say, that's great, Ankur. We keep wasting our money on a rent. We get nothing for it. Right? I got to buy a home. He started this company called Built, B-I-L-T, Built Rewards. And just I was posting on my Instagram, he announced today he raised $150 million at $1.5 billion pre-money valuation. Wow. The reason I'm talking about not the money is what he did is so phenomenal. He came up with the concept of a credit card where you can put a rent on a credit card with no credit card fees, no annual fee. Normally, when you put something on a credit card, you pay 2.5%, 3%. He convinced the MasterCard to waive that fee for rent. And then he's able to now earn points on something you haven't paid anything, and you can use the point to actually buy a home, down payment for a home. Wow. Or use 1-to-1 on any airlines, on a hotel, on Expedia, on Amazon. You can use the points to earn the points on rent and with no credit cards. Okay, what's happening? Landlords love it because they are able to bill you on day 1. Day 2, they have the money. You as a renter are not paying a dime more, and you have 21-day float to pay your credit card bill. Yeah. In turn, you earn the points that were completely wasted, and now you can travel, or you can use them for next month rent, or you can use them as down payment on a home. Solving the problem that impacted all these people. In turn, he created a great company. Wow. Our daughter,
Congrats, that's amazing.
Our daughter, Priyanka, went to Stanford STEM fellow, Stanford Mayfield fellow, only cared about women's education, women's health. First company she worked, removing gender bias from hiring using AI. Started a company called EVVY, EVVY, Women's Health Company. And just today, Fast Company recognized as the fastest and the most disruptive company that she started a year and a half ago. Wow. Right? So she's completely changing the idea of how women's health. What I did not realize, what she told me is, until about 20 years ago, women weren't allowed to be in a clinical studies. That means every drug we have were never designed for women. They're only designed for men. And no wonder these drugs don't even work for women, because they were never on a clinical trial. And she's changing that industry. Wow. Right? Our youngest went to Stanford, became a Schwarzman scholar. And now he's solving the problem of home mortgages. Right? Again, it doesn't matter. The point is they find the biggest problem and they realize they can go out and solve it. And why is it? How did that happen? And Jay, you don't have kids yet, but one day you do. I'm going to give you some of the parenting lesson because I have 32 years, 28 years, 25
Yeah, that would be great.
years
I'm very open to that.
Right. So here's what happens. these kids were growing up on an affluent family, unlike I grew up in a poor family. We told them our love for you is unconditional, but our approval is not. That means I'll always tell you I love you, but I will never tell you I'm proud of you. To be proud of you, you have to do things that make us proud of you. And I told them that we will be proud of you when you do things that make other people's life better. That means your success is never going to be defined by how much money you have in the bank. It'll be defined by how many lives you improve. They may, when they were young, they would say, whatever, dad. But guess what? Every one of them remembered what dad wants, and they want to make their dad proud. And I told them, and I say, I'm proud of you when you do the things that make us proud. We told them that their self-worth doesn't come from what they own. It comes from what they create. That means you own a lot, but you haven't created anything. You're still a parasite on society, right? So don't be a parasite. An ultimate goal of the children was always for them to focus on what can they do and make them believe nothing was impossible. So I remember when their kids were born, I was running a very successful company.